Welcome back, everybody, to Behind the Grind, episode 15. So we have been completed. We have completed the micro stakes challenge. I guess we were talking about that last time in episode 14. We were kind of at the end of it. That has been done for a little bit now. A couple weeks between episodes. So we finished out honestly the next day, the day after. So we haven't really been playing a ton online since then. I've been playing more live again, and we're just kind of getting all back into the mix of things. So I've been playing a little bit of more of 100, now that we're kind of like over with the challenge, but I'm still playing all of my limits really. So we will start with table selecting at 100, and then we will move down to micro stakes if we can't get 400 tables going. I think 400 tables is probably my goal right now. That'll be just like the easiest way to kind of go. Like, not gonna try and take things too seriously, but I definitely want to get back into the mix of things, like, in a more of a grindy manner. So this looks like a nice spot to jump in. Let's wait for this to go right here. It doesn't really matter, right? But yeah, 63% there. All we're really going to do is focus on finding weak opponents. I don't really try, or I try not to have an ego about, what am I playing? Big limits, small limits, micro, whatever. The higher you get, the less you got to be happy with. And a 50-15 might just be like not all we're going to get, but, we might just kind of have to take it. So we'll kind of come in with a silly raise on our first hand. Ooh, a 78-48 over 27 hands. Worth. Even though only 31 chips worth. Can definitely take advantage of that. Calls the... Oh, it's only 6 BB. I think we'll search around a little bit more, but this is like the kind of person that, like, you might have to start, taking as your fish once you start moving up a little bit in the stakes. So we will... Maybe what I'll do is I'll close this one for now, and then I'll look in here, and then we'll kind of evaluate. If we get an easily better table, then we will take it, and if not, maybe we'll go with that 50. I'm gonna raise again. He's gonna probably call this time for sure. Right, you can't let me bully around like that. Okay. Horus. Either he has 2 pair, or I probably have the best hand. I mean, of course, like, straight. I mean, like, when I say 2 pair and things like that, it's not like specifically exactly 2 pair. It's like 2 pair plus. I should be saying 2 pair plus, but like, just know that I usually mean, because of course, what was it, a triple connected board? There's of course 48 combos of straights just outwardly available when that happens. So yeah, that's fine. We'll take this C for now. We'll take this C for now. Let's scroll to the top, refresh tables. And yeah, like once again though, I'm very fluid with this. If we notice that the tables like aren't great, we will drop back down to just like NL40, NL20, NL10. I think all of those current games are running at the moment. It's like the only game that I really don't tend to play is NL2. It's just like a little small for me. But I once again shouldn't have an ego about it, and I should even play NL2. All right, you're a 64 and you're a 31. Damn. I was hoping that they would be also really bad as well. Switch their stack sizes around, and I would take this table. All right. Boop, boop, boop. That's fine. Probably just check back, try to realize our equity. Terrible card. Probably just check back, try to realize our equity. All right. If they lead into some of the river, I'm probably just gonna fold, honestly. Here, yeah, we're definitely gonna call. Gonna fold here. I think check back is good. Check back is probably GTO. Call turn, reevaluate river. Call river for sure. Not for sure, but like, feels like a call to me. Damn, that was like a realization. Like, damn, I could be outkicked. I did think that too. Like, there is a world in which I'm just like getting, that, or what was it? TT was the overpair. There's like one pair available. Sorry, There was one pair available that could beat me. Yeah, 10-10 was like another like logical, you know, second pair type hand. For value now that we hit. Jeez, these runouts. These are runouts. Gross. He called 2 strings with the queen deuce. That's funny. Over limp on the button, and we flop like a little like top pair kind of situation. We get let into for this was half pot. Call is fine. I think I can see a world in raising is cool too, but let's see how the board develops and all that. Wait 1 second, I forgot that I don't have my check, check, check. I don't know, man. It just seems like a chance to try to win the pot. Check, check, check. That's my logic error. Was what I said. I didn't realize I was muted. Now that we have been called in one spot, I feel the need to just check back. Damn. Listen. Fair. Double value owned in 2 different spots. I think calling here is pretty good. I think it's pretty nice. Value owned on the 9x kind of call down, and then kind of value owned ourselves there a little bit. It's all good though. Donk, this is like a really mediocre spot. Now we're getting good price, 7.5 to 1, but it's just like a really mid spot, so I'm gonna actually let it go. Like one of the very few turn cards that we can really make anything happen out of, you know? Even on this donk, it's like, I'm not even thrilled about that. Like, what if he does have a flush? Not even thrilled. It's like, yeah, when you hit that turn card, even that hard, you still can't even like, you know, be super happy about it against like big action against, say, this player right here, you know, going all in. Of course, against this player, Mr. Queen Deuce offsuit, we're happy to give him some action. 2.5 and call by the mid player. Can see calling being okay. I can see folding being okay here. I can see 3-betting being like, Just gonna fold. Gonna try and play a little more conservative, getting reacclimated with the smaller stakes. Oof, what a flop. They didn't. Oh, they did. Okay, okay. So like that's the worry. I was like, people behind us can 3-bet more liberally anyway. But of course, that hand 3-bets regardless. Oh, I was having a little bit of internet connectivity issues earlier. Not club dub issues, just like my own personal internet. So I'm hoping that that doesn't come into play. It's actually happened over the past couple days. I'm gonna raise the QTO. Think. I've raised a lot on this table already, so I don't think I necessarily like, need to. Yeah, I see you there. I think I'm just gonna go with the cold 4. Go with it, bro. Cold 4. Go with it. Why'd you just call, bro? Let's just play some poker. I'm just gonna call here. What do you have? KJO or KJS? Sorry. Interesting. I'm just gonna bet small here again. QTO. Is that me? Okay, it's not. I'm just gonna check back the 6-5 suited. Probably don't have a ton. I think check call is kind of nice on the river here. A lot of draws brick. A lot of draws brick. Damn, I wish you would have bet a little bigger, honestly. Kind of says like a king, queen, queen, jack type hand to me, but we'll call anyway. Yeah. I wish you bet bigger. Would have been better for me. All good though. All right, let's keep clicking around looking for the best tables possible. I think we can probably, at this pace, find a good 4th table. So, Goku forever, huh? I've seen that player before. Very fishy stats, but we would be 3 seats off from them, and the shorter stack size matters a lot more the further away from you the player is. You know, if they're right next to you, you have a lot more chances to be directly in position to them, and you will therefore get to win their stack more often. So them being a 40 BB stack, if they're sitting right here, is way better for us than being over here. So them being a very bad player is very helpful. I could see myself taking it, but I think I am going to still look for something a little better. Yeah. That's why I didn't like raise with the 6-5 offsuit before over like a big, you know, whatever, because I feel like I've already kind of loosened this guy up a little bit. 420 this guy. And then, I'm sorry, wait. Okay, no, that's just what happened. What's going on here? You shoved and you cold called? Weird. I'm just going to jam over that. Yeah, I think jam's like the play. What does this guy have? A40. Fair enough. Fair enough. Like him cold calling was like actually a little like, huh? But we're still just jamming over it. Like there's nothing else to really do. Like he's probably got like a mid pair, maybe like a suited Broadway like the other guy had before. Now on this table here, we have not quite opened things up as much to my recollection. We did just play the last couple hands, but we're gonna, you know, let everyone know hello. Slightly larger than average opens. You know, 6.7 BB is like pretty big for a table of good players, you know. So I wouldn't really do this if I was thinking that there were many potential people that could exploit it. You know, there's probably not too many great players running around these streets. So, bro, these look like the best boards in the fucking world to see bet, but I feel like it never works for me. I feel like it never works for me. Turn it back. See some turn reactions. I think this is like a good spot for like us. You know what? I'm just gonna call. I was gonna say it's a good spot for like a small 3-bet for ISO, but I also don't really want to get jammed on and then just like have to call a 30 BB. Dude, I don't know why. I swear to God, one of these people has something. And then yeah, I have to get all in. Whereas I can just call and then see the flop. He checks. I'm just gonna bet small. How do you not 3-bet kings before the flop, bro? What in God's name? So yeah, I don't think my c-bet would have worked. 25, huh? 25. It's just gonna bet for value. It's I don't know. Like you can really go either way. You can go bet smaller, check for pot control, bet for value. That shouldn't really complete anything, bro. Check call. Check call against spades, you know. Check call against spades. When in doubt, that hand kind of reminded me of like, this is like, it's not really the same thing at all, but like I really hammered Noodle the other day for not betting like a very weak queen in position heads up blind versus blind. And to me, that hand right there was like a very similar equity spot where it's like, bro, like you've got top pair, you've got a good kicker, you're almost certainly ahead of their range, you're out of position. Just fucking bet. Just fucking bet, dude. There's so many draws out there. Like, sure, there's a million things that could be beating you, but there's a billion things that we're beating that we can get value from. So just fucking bet. Like, if I'm looking for thin value, there's my thin value right there. It's staring me straight in the fucking face. You know, bet a good size. I think I bet like 67% pot, like around that area. And yeah, just go for value. Just go for value and don't worry about it. Like bet, fold, like bet, and then when you're shown resistance, then you can fold. But don't anticipate resistance like some kind of negative thinking person. Like don't not bet because you might get raised. I did that shit for fucking years, guys. Trust me, it's weak and it's losing poker. It's weak and it's losing poker. Like betting when you have a decent hand and there's a myriad of draws out there and someone can call you, like that's how you get the money. That's how you get the money. All right. Look for that elusive. I might actually leave this table too, because like something about this, like I barely wanted to, you know, I am. I barely wanted to go onto it, and I haven't really had a good feeling about it since being there. Like there's better tables to be found, and even if I can't find them at 100, I'd rather play a fish at 40 or 20 or 10 than play some like people playing relatively standard poker at 100. You know, to me, the quality of opponent matters so much more than the actual stakes itself. And it's like, really? And it's like, yeah, to a degree. That's why playing NL2 is kind of hard because 2 is like really, really small. But like $20 buy-in at NL20, or sorry, NL10, I'm a cheap son of a bitch, y'all. I'll win me 20 bucks any day of the week, any time of the day. Because here's why. Here's something where I'm sure many of y'all can relate to. Even if you're not as cheap as me, a lot of y'all can probably relate to this. I've spent so much time, so many hours grinding so many different games that have paid me nothing. Okay, I put hours into Fortnite, put hours into Pokemon, put hours into Smash, put hours into this, put hours into that. Everyone who's a gamer has put hours into many games, hundreds of hours, even thousands of hours into some of these games. Ain't paid us shit. And turning that into YouTube content, that doesn't count. That's a cheap, thing, because you can turn YouTube content off of just talking into a microphone. So that's like not really real. What I'm talking about is games that you can win money off of. And this is one at the very least. Like, I'll take 20 bucks over nothing. That's basically what I'm saying. I'd rather, even though it's not as fun as playing a game of like Fortnite or Arc Raiders or whatever for me right now, I'd rather take the 20 bucks on a 5 cent, 10 cent micro stakes table than play those other games. Okay. Because at the very least, I'm getting some poker in. I'm feeling like even if the money isn't the same, the quality of competition at a lot of these levels is actually very similar. Like, even though we're playing, 5 cent, 10 cent, you're still playing really bad people. You're still playing, yeah, GG. You're still playing, terrible people at micros, at small stakes. I come across some of the worst players that you'll never even believe at like 5-5, $1,000 buy-in, 5-5, 5-5, 10, $1,500 buy-in. I've seen some very bad players. So bad players are bad players. Okay. So getting experience with bad players is always valuable, always valuable. So forget the money, the money's an afterthought. It's just to keep yourself fresh and just to do what you can this is all like behind the grind, because it's not just this one online session. That's why I make these things. Like, a lot of people, when they make their poker videos, like, for those of you who have not been here for a while, who are like, hey, this is your first behind the grind video, this is just to show you every element of what is my current poker life. I play live, I play online. We have the Discord, join the Discord. And that's like where I put my energy. Whereas a lot of poker videos you're going to see on the internet, they're going to show you a curated section of either their session, or they'll go over like a bunch of hands that they want. You'll see them transition from this to this. They'll show you like, you can tell they're 4 tabling or 5 tabling or whatever, or 6 tabling, I should say. But they'll only show you one table at a time, and they'll kind of move to where the action is, where it's like, no, you're going to see everything from me. You're going to see my bankroll. You're going to see my actions. You're going to hear my decisions on every point. That is behind the grind. And you're going to also get some insight into my other poker things while we're here. It's like kind of the main gist of it all. So thank you all for being here. Really appreciate that. And thank you all for all the support and all the love that we've been receiving lately. It seems like, and it sounds like a very novel concept, but it seems like on this channel, and this is my 3rd YouTube channel that I'm like really kind of growing. But it seems like on this channel, more than any of my others, I can just kind of post a video and people watch it, and I can just kind of have a Discord and people join it and they open it, and people are open to discussion. And they're open to, being part of what we're doing. And I guess this is probably part of it is because this is definitely a way that you can like, earn such, you can actually earn, sorry, I clicked this one twice, from watching these videos. So that's like a good incentive. But I want to just say I appreciate it, because it's very difficult to grow communities and very difficult to grow channels and get views and things like that. So I really appreciate you all for, it's a pretty bad player, for being here and helping make this a very seamless process. Because for me, poker has always been just kind of like a part of my life, but I wanted this to be a fun endeavor. Like, I don't want to say like I didn't have to make this channel, as in like I'm doing anyone a favor. I make this channel for me first, primarily, so that I can improve and so that I can stay sharp and so that I can, you know, I don't mind putting myself out there, because then when I do, it's very, it's YouTube. It's very critical. Like, if someone's like, hey man, that's stupid. You shouldn't do that. I'm not the kind of person to be like, oh yeah, well fuck you, man. I'm the kind of person to be like, maybe they're right, and like look into that spot further. And that's like, will help me along the way. So then anytime that I can help people as a side effect of me helping myself, that's awesome, So let's take it and run with it. So what I tell people in the Discord all the time, they're like, thanks for helping me. And it's like, no, man, thank you for letting me help you, because that helps me get better. And if I'm helping you, then that's just a benefit of, just a nice little side benefit. So we're going to take the seat, try to tackle the 65 VPIP. But the NL100 tables are actually looking kind of thin right now. Maybe we'll dip into an NL40 as well. Let me just do this, tile this, and then drag this to the side. But swingy session so far. I feel like my hand reading has been like okay-ish. Decision making been okay-ish. I would give myself like a B overall. Maybe you could say like C minus. I haven't been playing. I haven't done anything like good yet, I would say, but I wouldn't say I've made like any like huge mistakes. So like B minus, C plus is like. Did I say C minus? I meant C plus. C plus to B minus is like probably where I would rate myself at the moment. Once again, still getting relatively acclimated to these limits. I want to make sure that I'm not doing both things, and they really are just like walking the fence on the line. Like I don't want to make sure I'm going too wild and too aggressive, because now I'm playing at tables with, let's go, do we want to go XR or bet? I like to just go bet in these spots, because whenever I go for the XR, it never works. It never works. People just check back, build the pot yourself, build the pot yourself. I don't want to go too crazy, too aggressive, because now I'm playing with better regulars and better this and better that. And I also don't want to be like play too much how I did at the micros, which is very exploitative. Like I expose my stack quite a bit, because of the way that I play. I expose big chunks of my stack quite frequently through, I wouldn't say thin calls, but more like I'm willing to call down when I feel like the spot is right, and I'm also willing to bet when I feel like I'm just in a favorable spot for my equity. If I feel like, bro, I can't tell you why, but I just feel like it's like a 65-35. I'm in advantage right now. I just got to bet. Like, say with that king queen hand earlier, like it was just kind of hard to quantize in the moment, like what exactly is my advantage. But I just felt like my advantage was outweighing all the potential disadvantages on that very connected draw heavy board. Draw heavy boards are one thing, but draw heavy boards with potential straights already there and a lot of two pairs available, different story. The suited meme hand. We'll go cold call with the suited meme hand, and we'll go. I'm sorry, I would have raised this, but I did not have enough time. Aggro. See, that's what you have to be careful for. These plays that I make, like I said, like highly exploitative, exposing myself. The 31-20s don't always squeeze as frequently in the smaller stakes. So just things like I have to, be aware of, be considering. Probably should have checked the player to my left prior to calling. And like in these games now, it's like, I guess I do have to become the 3-better myself if I do want to play these hands, because I need to ISO so that I don't get ISO'd myself, / really not ISO, just like squeezed out of the pot, dead money style. So I fully understand the game and the meta, where if you've watched like some of my previous videos, and Nick, I was talking, you have to be in the Discord to see this video, because this video is unlisted. So another good reason to go in the Discord is I have a lot of videos on this channel that are not public, because they are involving hands that people in the Discord play. And I don't want to, just like throw that out in the world for everyone. Like that's a place that's like more, close knit and special for us to all learn together. And if you want to like be dumb or be stupid and without the ridicule of the entire internet looking at you, I think that's a nice thing to have. So you do have to join the Discord if you want to see some of these videos. And it's not like we're doing anything great or anything special, but it's just something that I mentioned in a different video that I'll say again when I remember the point. I actually kind of forgot the point that I was going to say. Yeah, sorry, I completely forgot. Join the Discord. That'll be the point that I just got to now, is join the Discord. That's all good. I find that, here's my tip though. If you're ever talking and you find that you've lost your point, you lost your train of thought, stop talking about it and don't even look for it. And then it'll just come back to you eventually later. And if it doesn't, it doesn't. But we are going to now leave, this table here. Cool. And I think we'll give it one more rundown at NL100, and then we'll start searching some NL40, 20, 10 and such. I only intended to go for about an hour. Actually, the main reason why I'm recording this video right now is because I was very low energy and I almost needed a bit of push to make myself play. And I thought, what's a great way to force myself to play for an hour than record episode 15 of BTG, especially now that we've completed the challenge. We can step out and branch out. Like, you guys are going to see me playing literally everything now. I'm going to be playing PLO. I'm going to be playing more tournaments. So I'm going to really try to branch out as a poker player in 2026. I did a lot of honing in on my no limit hold'em in 2025, which of course is my primary focus. It'll always be my B&B, and I will try to, maintain that and improve that beyond everything else, especially with this new shit GTO Wizards got coming out, this multi-way stuff. Get the fuck out of here, bro. Get the fuck out of here. So like, who knows how deep we're going to go with it, but I just wanted to emphasize that I would like to do other things as well. And it's hard for me to make content specifically on formats that I'm not like, dude, there's some words in poker that people use that like I fucking hate to use. One would be professional. I could never call myself a professional, even if I am playing for full time and it's like the main source of money. Until I'm making like, 100, like 6 figures a year, like I don't think you're really a professional. Like that's like kind of how I look at it. Even if you're paying your bills, 6 figure minimum. So like even if right now what I do is mostly poker, I still don't consider myself professional. And also, even though I feel like I'm very well versed in the area of no limit hold'em, I wouldn't call myself an expert by any means, but no limit hold'em is my area of expertise. So I have no other way to word that. So when I make no limit hold'em videos, it's completely natural, free flowing, and it requires quite literally zero effort because I feel very comfortable in the game. But to make a PLO video, the two BTG behind the grinds that I made that were PLO were me half the time saying, I think this might be okay. I have no idea. Can we set mine here? Are we gonna get squeezed out of the pot here? These are some spots I have to start that I have to start studying now because I genuinely don't know. Like deeper here. Like, do I have to squeeze? They're a very aggressive opener at 25%. Very aggressive. Do we check call here on the flop? Looks like kind of a range bet board for most players. Not against that size, not against full fucking pot. I was talking about check call 1/3 bet. Never mind. Yeah, you can. That is all you, sir. That is all you. And we are still in position to the 59-32, and that's like the main reason why we're here. All right. Let's go back home. Let's go back to our old our most recent home. Let's check out some micros. Let's see what's going on here. And I also don't want to ever stop playing micros for this channel because one big reason why I even started was because there were, I was playing only 100 for the first like 30-ish. No. How many? I'll let you know. It's like 20-ish. For the first 20-ish thousand hands, I played only 100 basically. A little bit like maybe a few hundred hands of 10 to figure out what the hell it was about. 40 was just like, why bother with 40 if I'm going to play 40? I'll just play 100. And then I did my first micro stakes challenge. That's when I first started to, and that was just for me because I felt like I was playing like an asshole and I had to just like commit to playing well against a bunch of fish and just like prove to myself that I could. And then I kind of kept playing the micros because I noticed a lot of people in the Discord are playing NL10, NL20, NL40. And I was like, all right, well, like they're going to obviously want to see some footage of someone who can destroy these games. So I will do that and show you that. If you look on YouTube, there's really not a whole ton of evidence of that out there of people consistently winning in these games. So I will never stop playing these for that simple fact alone, is that people are going to always be coming through these micro stakes. They're always going to be needing to learn, and they're going to want to see the most recent footage. Like I get it, even back when I was learning and such, like I would always want to see the players who were, or like the video that like just came out. You don't want to see the video that came out a year ago. I mean, sure, it's good and it probably has a lot of stuff you can learn from, but you want to see that cutting edge, that brand new thought. Like, what are they working on today? What's the meta right now? I think we're just gonna go little click so that we can play back versus 3 bets easily. I like little clicks because little clicks can call. Little clicks can call. All right. And like against the 25-20, which is what this player is, we're just gonna get 3-bet a lot in this situation. I feel like their range is gonna be pretty. They're probably playing 3-better fold from the small blind, so we're just gonna have to, call with good linear range, yada yada, all that good stuff. See, they're gonna miss a ton on this board. I feel like when they bet, they're actually gonna have a lot of BS. They're gonna have a lot of nonsensicals. I don't mind a float in position. Keep them honest. I don't even know necessarily if they bet ace high on the flop. Probably put me on ace high right now. I think I'd have to go like bet jam. And I don't know if like I go bet jam with like 9-9, 10-10 here. I probably should though, right? In like 2026. Okay. Bet jam. Does bet get jammed on over the turn? Do we call? Do we call a bet jam on the turn with a hand like 9-9? That's a really good question. That isn't a question that I do not know the answer to. I actually don't mind flat here. Earlier position open. This guy like is the most aggressive player behind us, but he did just 3-bet. So like talking about energy and such, this guy I do view as probably a relatively aggressive player. We could even check that hand. I didn't even think about checking the hand, but we could check and see what they had. I think they probably had ace x that was trying to bet us off of a chop. Like that's like my main instinct when they bet that. I was like, oh, they probably have like ace king, ace queen, trying to like get us off of, you know, the same hand. And any bluff energy that they may have is gone. Topic of the day, their bluff meter is at like as low as it's gonna get. They see bet into 4 ways, 3 players. I'm just gonna let it go, let them have it. But like, so from my perspective, if you guys have been in the Discord, one of the topic of the days was energy that people have at the table that's like ambiguous. Like people will have different these different like meters building up. Some people like really want to make a hero call. Some people really want to make a big bluff. Some people really want to make a big overbet value bet. And like once they kind of do that thing, like the very next hand, that meter is depleted and gone. And then sometimes some meters will influence others. For example, if a fish, is like on a good streak and they lose a big hand, especially say they get sucked out on and they lose a big hand, that may put their like bluff meter, their spaz meter, like on overload. And like the very next few hands, complete tilt, complete craziness, complete like ridiculous play. So don't all right, if they're gone, we're gone. If they're here, we're here. It really is that that bum hunty. If the fish is not going to be here, I am not going to be here. And if the fish will be here, I will be here. I'm not saying I'm going to sit out immediately, but like if they leave, I am leaving. And I'm not like being shameless about it. Like I will leave as soon as it gets to my BB, like the very next time. I think we can. Sorry, it's not. I think we can. I think we have to squeeze or 3-bet here, like legally. I think legally, the solver forces it. It's almost like you can't play NL100 if you don't start 3-betting your suited aces from the blinds against players who open like relatively wide from in late position. I'm not finding a lot of good stuff. That's another thing too. Is like I always notice at 40, like somehow, some way, shape, or form, almost is like a better player pool than NL100. Like there's not as many fish in here as you would expect for it to be a limit lower than 100. Like I really do feel like I find more. Dude, I keep clicking the same table. I'm sorry, guys. It's hard for me to keep track of the tables when I click on them. I know that I do that a lot. I do apologize. I'm just gonna go back to 100 because like some time has passed. Maybe the lobby's refreshed a little bit, and then if it, ooh, this guy's bad. Cool, take this table real quick. Direct position on a 63-17. That's like exactly what you want in life. I'm actually gonna be out at this table as well. That was a really big bet for really big open for who's at this table right now. So that was like, that's those little things I'm still trying to get out of my system, y'all. Like that 420 open, that's standard as fuck at NL10, but at NL100, it's not. It's not. It really is like a 2.5. So I got to get back to like my ways, but it's all good. I'm not worried about it. It'll happen. You're here. 3.5 I actually think is pretty decent for this spot here. Less incentive for the aggressive player to play back at us. His meter's building slowly. And fish in the BB. Fish in the BB is like the big reason why I do want to be a little bit bigger on my open. Like I don't want to just go like a 2 or 2.5. Draws a plenty. Let's set up for a 2 street hand. I think 8 is like awesome actually. Set up for a bet jam. And we are of course getting it in on literally every turn card, even like the ace of spades is not like the worst thing ever. 3 is fine. Slightly smaller means we can call a 3-bet easier when we get 3-bet. And we still get enough value from homie, who's got like a pretty small stack. And you got this dude over here. Shreddle, Bededdle. Let's tell everyone that we are here. Announce our presence to the table. 11 BB. This one's for you, Noodle. 11 BB. Let them know you're here. I'm just gonna bet small, make it look like we're just gonna stab him with nothing. They give us a little action, and now we know next time that we can do that with Queen Queen. Now that we know that we can do it with Queen Queen. So I am gonna give them the we have like many backdoors. Broadway, what would you say? Broadway, wheel, and the hearts against a raise, though. I don't know if we can continue. That is a tough price to pay. I'm just gonna let him have it. Against a raise, it is a tough price to pay. Nice hand, Lady Luck. All right, let's try to find Uno Mas Mesa. We already clicked on this one before. You know what? Let's just take a 10 table. I'll find a big ass fish at a 10 table. I like a big ass fish more than like. I'll take a big VPIP over bigger money in smaller VPIPs. Like this is how I feel. So let's, because 20 is still running, right? Like 20, like straight 20. So like that's even better / easier. Honestly, it's really not. I'll take a 10 table. I don't even care. Just get me into this range right here and show me what they got available. I'll take whatever. I'll fold. Oh, I'm dumbass. I could have 3-bet, right? Yeah, I could have. We are deeper though. Incentive to call. That's fine. But I didn't even really consider it. That's like the mistake. All right. Let's just take, yeah, I'm gonna keep it simple just to fill out the tables. I want to find like a 60, 70 VPIP player. Because this is what you guys should be doing when you're trying to build your bankroll up. You know, find like, oh, dude, did I just fucking pay? God, son of a fucking bitch. That tilts me. I think I just paid like 30 cents for that too. To reveal a hand that I was nowhere even near because I'm trying to check stats too quickly. Whatever. Enjoy your tip, ClubWPT. You sons of bitches. I've never done that before, and I'll be very careful to not do that again. How did this table have 2 players on it? Trust me, we're gonna find a big fish. See, it's like just, it's only a matter of time. This, like, look at this table. Look at this table. No one's got a VPIP under 42%. 42, 49, 53, 73. Like this right here is how you build a bankroll quickly. You know, from going from $100 to $1,000 is done with players like this at your table. I would say 100 to 1,000 is like a little risky, might not work, you know, aka you might go bust. But like 200 to 1,000, I don't know if I ever went on a $200 downswing at NL20. So like call it 10 buy-ins. Buy-ins, really, I consider that 20 buy-ins because of the BB. But yeah, I think you're like pretty safe with $200 to just like run the board. So that's a question, or that's the answer to the question that nobody asked. What would be a required starting bankroll to play NL10 $200? But you could actually probably start this even easier. What would be the absolute basement? I have thought about this. I think you could probably do it with like $20 and do just NL2, even doing a $4 buy-in. All right, so let's go with a, we don't have to hello. We don't need to hello anybody. And what I mean by that is a hello would be like the ace-4 suited hand where we just, you know, like this, like, you know, we make a big raise to announce our presence to the table. It's not needed when the players are all this bad. The only difficulty right now for me, and it's actually good that my 100 tables are up top and then 40 and then 10, is like keeping track of what tables are what limit. It's the only thing that screws with my head sometimes. Oh, this sucked. That was stupid. I should not have folded the Jack 8 offsuit. I should have at least limped it. That was bad. Check stats real quick. Do a little fish report. Ooh, not looking too great on this 100 table. And we still have Daw here, but he's looking a little bit short stacked. What have we gone for? 38 minutes? Maybe we can go into like the mid 40s here. Like, I don't need to go too long. The tables really aren't super great right now. Tonight they'll be fantastic. I can just sense it. I feel like weeknights are one of the best times because that's when people don't really have a chance to do much of anything. So they'll kind of like use ClubWPT as like their way to like let loose, you know, between, you know, like their work days and such. Call here. We'll go little ISO raise. But during the weekends and during like the, you know, Friday and holidays and such, like people actually have time to like go and, you know, drink and party and hang out with their family and their friends and this and that. So I feel like you don't see as many big fish on during those times, but like those, like there's like some weird in between times. This hour right now can be good at times. It just isn't right now from what I'm noticing. Very anecdotal evidence / experience on my club dub. Donking is always scary, bro. the unfortunate part. Pain in my butt, man. Like, just his stack size. Like, why? Like, if you had more money, I could call, I feel like, right? I don't think I can call this with this stack size. Or can I? I really don't know, actually. I haven't studied 30, sub 30 BB stacks. Like, for the 100 BB here, I know I can call 100%. But I don't know sub 30 because, like, I just don't think the EV is there to warrant, you know, my equity fault. I don't know. Like, I'm 33% equity there, you know, against like their range. I need more money. I need more money so that when I do hit that, I can actually get something out of them. That's my logic behind it, slash like how I interpret the whole situation. But yeah, I mean, next time I'm in the solver, I'll click around and actually mess around with some of the smallest stacks. Because I see like you can set the stack sizes pretty small, and I very rarely do. That's almost, now that I think about it, bro, like that's like just using like, say, like tournament logic, like from like smaller stack sizes, like that's like the only time that I would have ever even remotely come close to have studied, you know, a stack of that size. Let me sit down for the last part of this video. I can see like that's not a call. There's no way that that's a call. Because like at this point, it's like you're just playing with the raw equity of your hand, and like you want to get literally high cards in and like pairs, you know, and queen is not a high enough card. You know, you want ace-x, you want king, you want big kings, and you want pairs. And then when you don't have that, I think you want like suited connectors more. I mean, suited Broadway is always going to be like inherently good, but it's just so easily like that's when being dominated matters so much more. Like, you know, against a king queen, against an ace 10 type hand, like that's when that really sucks. Is when you kind of like either call and then try to play like some kind of stop and go where you like jam on like any flop, or where you just jam pre-flop and try to go with whatever hand they have, and you know, your equity is just kind of boned. Not folding the JTS, so let's see where this hand goes. Backdoor. Okay. Not going to double barrel here. Really, brother? Really? Well, we're never folding, obviously. We're never folding, obviously, because if we hit that king, if you hit that king and they have like something, oof. I still think if we hit the king, it could be nice, but they might actually be boated up on us. You never know. This guy looks like they're a little sneaky deaky. Little sneaky deaky. Ooh, that king would have been bad. That king would have been bad. Oh, that king would have been bad. Now, that king without the ace hitting would have been so nice. But that king on the end. Ugh. Something was in my brain that they might even already had like an ace queen or something, and it's like I had no chance at that point. Just something about their check min race check. Like, I don't know, man. I don't know. That's not really going to be fooling much beyond the most amateur of players. Like, I've never seen someone check min raise and then be like, oh, well, you know what? I have nothing. I guess I'll now give up. Wink, wink. And then actually give the hand up. I mean, like, I guess never say never, but like, it's just not a very common line. But what do we have now? 43. I'm probably gonna end it pretty soon. I was already low energy to start, and now we are as damn, who says this? Is this Antonio or Phil Locke? Someone came up with the term. We are now up stuck. I feel like, you know, like we were doing like okay, up a little bit. Now we're kind of like bleeding off, like not really doing super great. Like I was gonna leave this table anyway, you know, and we were only here for this guy who's like still kind of pretty medium stack. I actually have found quite a bit of value in playing, especially, I mean, well, especially mainly online, because like I'm not just going to drive to the casino and then get up after like 2 orbits, but playing like call them like micro sessions at times when I don't necessarily want to commit to like a full grind, but like in the same way before where like I would maybe play a round of Fortnite. Now I will play a table or two for 15 minutes, you know. Those sessions have been really, really profitable for me because it's very frequent. Aw, son of a bitch. Really? A 9 PFR? No. You have to fold this here, dude. How fucking much does that suck? You actually have to fold this here. I'm not happy about that. I'm not happy about that. But yeah, I feel like, because, you know, you're playing like completely fresh, playing your A game, playing this, playing that. So let's go for a pseudo micro end. You lead into me? Oh yeah. Oh yeah. This is a big mistake I see a lot of people make. Is they don't like charge the shit out of this. Charge the shit out of this. Some people might make like a 3x raise or like a 4x raise or something. Just like, no, we're all in, buddy. If you wanted to play like that. Probably Jack X, if I had to guess. Yeah. Probably Jack X, if I had to guess. But, okay, like, if they were to stay, I would have stayed another round or two, because I know that what I talked about before, like, you know, online, like, you know, bum hunt this, that, do whatever you want, like, be shameless about it. I will still give, I don't like hit and running people. I just find it to be, it's just a poker thing, and it's just an ism that I have that, like, I don't want to do. It's just me, and that's just a decision that I make. Everyone's free to make their own decisions. Never feels the need to give someone a chance to win their money back. I give bad players a chance to win their money back because I can always win more money from them, and I don't want to be rude about it as well. So if I was planning on leaving, but it was a table that, dude, get the fuck out of here. This is a really underbluffed line, bro. Really underbluffed line. I'm going to fold and check. Really underbluffed line. Like the call and then on that board run out. I don't know, man. I didn't see it. Maybe I'm wrong. And I just got lucky. Maybe I'm wrong. Because a lot of draws did break. But that Broadway coming in, though, is what really kind of skirted me. We'll go smaller size. Try to induce from anybody. Plus, this was a table that we're going to leave anyway. Range bet-ish kind of situation. Really? Flatsicles, huh? Double flat, huh? Check is cool. You save yourself from situations where you are, like, crushed. Oh my fucking god, bro. I'm gonna fold, check, leave, bro. I actually don't think that, yeah, it's just, call it under bluff, call it what you want. First instinct told me this motherfucker's got it. I don't know what it is, but that's just what my first instinct said. So that's why we folded. Okay, it's all fine. Sorry, it's playing 3 hands at once. I'm like, wait a minute, I have to make decisions on all of these. Lame. Oh god, bro. That shove is so confident, but whatever. They're a weird player. Just hoping they don't have shit. Please don't call, 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 or jam. Please don't do any. Please just fold. Oh god, they have not folded yet. That's really not good for me. Oh my god. Oh my god, dude. How 10-10, right? 10-10. It's got to be 10-10. It's only 10-10. It's only 10-10. I'm like, I just don't see another fucking hand that even like fits in the range of hands that would ever make sense for you to have there other than 10-10. I just don't see a single other hand that, other than the 3 combos exactly of 10-10. Exactly TT. That's all I could possibly see. So that's like either one of two things. Either I'm a fucking genius and my hand reading is just like on point today after like the first part of my session where it was a little bit off, because I've made a lot of really good reads in the last part of the session, or I got really lucky. All right. Let's barter on combo of the two. I'm gonna float against overcards. I kind of want to full check leave here as well. Because, like, something in my heart of hearts tells me that this guy just doesn't have it, but I don't have it in me to just jam over him right now. Sit out. Reveal. Ace king. Ace ace. Okay, jam would not have worked. Jam would not have worked. Whew. Wild end to the session, bro. Wild end to the session. Well, all I can say is right now, I mean, that last hand, like, my actions did the right thing, even though verbally I didn't believe him. Did not believe him. My actions still did the right thing. Like, it wasn't like I overrode it and was like, no, I have to jam here. Which sometimes, like, you know, I feel like my brain just glitches. No. Okay, cool. I thought it was gonna be BB. Sometimes my brain glitches out, and that's what does happen. But man, I didn't feel good about calling that guy's jam to begin with the 30 BB jam. Like, it felt so confident he had king king. And then to get jammed on over that shit is 10-10 exactly, bro. Like, what else could it be? What else could it be? What calls you and then cold calls a 3-bet as well? On a 25 player, a 20/5. No, there's no other hand. There's no other hand. But maybe I got lucky. Maybe I got lucky. That shit was the blender, bro. That shit was behind the grinder. Behind the grinder blender. All right, well, that'll be a cool way to end off the session. Because honestly, even though we like went through like a little like downswing at the very end there, I honestly feel fucking awesome about how I played because I didn't click a single wrong button. I only didn't know exactly what the hell was going on in the moment of any of those hands, but I still feel like I got like green check mark or double green check mark on like every decision there. And that was very nice feeling. That was a very nice feeling. So I'm honestly very happy with how this all like played out. Like, it was a tough run of situations, but we didn't like, we zigged in every spot where we needed to zig, and we zagged in every spot where we needed to zag. And I feel really good about that. So despite probably losing, let's see, like, it's really hard to estimate too how much you win or lose between things like that. I would estimate that I probably lost like maybe $50, you know, because I can't say BBs given that we played a variety of stakes, but probably $50 ish. I would say my range of losses is between like 50 and 100, and there's like probably next to no way that I won. But if I won like $10 to $20. You know, it's hard to keep track of this stuff in your brain. Switching tables, going in and out. But overall, at this point, I would definitely upgrade myself from a C plus B minus up to like a B plus, up to a B plus for sure. I feel like I played really well at the end there, and I am very happy. But yeah, I'm gonna kind of leave y'all with this. You know, we ended up going like that full kind of hour ish because of hands is kind of like coming in and situations coming in that were too juicy to fold. You know, but while the BB comes around, like these last two hands, once again, I've said it a million times, join the Discord, guys. It's like the best part of this channel. It's the only really reason why I continue to, it's the main reason why I put this series. This was another series that was Discord only. Like, only people in Discord were watching me do this for a while. And I was like, you know what? If I put this public, people will come into the Discord, and that's how we can grow it. So that's really why I'm here right now. It's like just to help us get more people in there so that we can all, you know, talk poker and have more friends and people to bounce ideas off of and stuff. Request your role, you know, when you get in there if you'd like. If you want to be a poker coach, like right off the rip, like let me know. I'll happily give you the poker coach if you feel confident enough to give people advice and this and that on their game. If you want to be a new player, we'll mark you as that. I give most people the intermediate tag because it feels like most people have like some, you know, experience and such in poker. We were at 51.75 and we lost 90. We're at 50.85. So for like the way that session ended, not surprised. I think we probably were closer to my estimate of like maybe down 50, maybe even like up a little bit, as short as like 15 minutes ago, like 10 minutes ago. So all good, very standard variance type session, I would say overall. But in the end, it was not standard for how many difficult decisions we had. I would say like that was very we had a lot of close calls, you know, like with just very like close second best hands. And I'm pretty content with those with how those went. But as always, let me know what y'all think. Please use timestamps for any hands or anything in the comments because that's the only way that we can really keep track of things. And other than that, I will see you all in the Discord and on the next video. Thank you, love you, and we'll see you on the next one. Bye bye.